Hi guys, we are Waste of the World and we spent the last 5 weeks falling in love with Portugal. We had 10 different stops, including the popular ones like Porto, Lisbon, and Lagos, but we also went to lesser-known places like Peneda-Gerês National Park, Coimbra, and Tavira, and in this video we're sharing our entire journey with you so you can see for yourself which one is best for you. You can watch our other 14 videos about Portugal, but if you don't have time, then this video is for you. Enjoy Portugal!
Time to start exploring this amazing city. The first thing you notice when you step into Porto is just the giant Douro River cutting through the heart of the old town. It's like massive bridges spanning both sides. And also like there's so many beautiful like historic buildings and homes that have like the iconic Portuguese tile facades. It's all very, very beautiful. And the best places to see these famous tiles are actually in the São Bento train station and also the unmistakable Porto Cathedral.
We are now walking through the famous Ribeira neighborhood, and this neighborhood is known for being one of the oldest and most historic, but it's also one of like the funnest neighborhoods in the city. It's packed with cafes and restaurants, and everyone's like out and about, and all the buildings are so beautiful. They're covering like the traditional Portuguese styles. And I mean, look behind me, it's right next to the Douro River. This is where you get on your boat tours as well. And we're trying to find our way to that bridge. I don't know if top or bottom. I think it's gonna be bottom because we don't have time, because we need to cross to go to our port tasting.
Look at us about to try all these port wines in Porto. We are pretty lucky. Technically, like the wine cellars, I think it's a different town, like Gaia or Gaia, like right across from the river from Old Porto. It's beautiful. There's like tons of old like wine cellars. So this river like leads up to the Douro Valley where they grow the grapes, and it comes here to the Atlantic for export. That's kind of why like Porto grew to what it was too. It like exported wine to the world. And here we are trying their famous Portos. How about those views of Ribeira?
It's so pretty on this side. Like you guys have to cross the bridge because you can really see all the colorful tiles and the buildings that Porto is famous for. Welcome to an area of Portugal not a lot of people visit. This region is filled with the most adorable villages, scenic drives, and some of the country's most beautiful landscapes. This is without a doubt one of Portugal's best kept secrets.
We just popped into Peneda-Gerês National Park. This is Portugal's only national park. It sits on like the northern border with Spain, about 75 miles northeast of Porto. And our first impressions of this place are that it's absolutely incredible. It's nothing like the national parks in the US. There's literally zero other people here right now. And before we start checking out some of the towns in the area, we wanted to stop by two kind of like sites close to our home. So this was like a 15-minute drive from our Airbnb. And the first stop is a mountain swing. You're on top of the world.
Look at these views, this is amazing. Woo! Like an acrobat.
Wow.
Do you get that? I used to work in a circus.
How about this for dedication to her craft? The GoPro in the mouth. Do you feel like you're in Tibet?
That's what our host said. This area is called the Portuguese Tibet. I have no idea how Tibet looks like, but this is so beautiful. We had no idea this place existed yesterday, and we're in this mirador called, I'm gonna read it, Mirador dos Socalcos. And I think this is how these terraces are called, so galcos in Portuguese. And they're just for crops, right? Like to...
Yeah, to increase agricultural space.
It's very, very pretty. It's so peaceful here. The air is like pure and fresh, and it's just, it's been a really, really nice day. So we were driving, and all of a sudden we see this beautiful river, and it's almost lunchtime, so we had to stop. Just look at this place. This is crazy. We had no idea this existed, and we just looked it up, and it's called the Gavado River, and it's stunning. Gordon says that it feels like being in the Carolinas, but I've never been in the Carolinas, so I don't know. It's just a beautiful lake with mountains and activities. It seems beautiful bridges. Very, very nice. I love this place for lunch. Welcome to Coimbra, Portugal. This beautiful city located in between Lisbon and Porto is the third largest city in all of Portugal, but there's a good chance that you don't know much about it. And that's because most people don't include Coimbra in their Portugal itineraries. But we learned this beautiful place is filled with its own unique traditions and stories, and of course, incredible regional foods. And today is the perfect fall day to show you guys why you should visit Coimbra. Just like Lisbon and Porto, Coimbra is also split by a massive river. This one is called the Mondego River, and it is beautiful. I think it has so much charm to the city. So it divides the city into east and west, and right now we are in the east side, which is where most of the historic sites are, and we're starting the explorations today at Rua Ferreira Borges. First impressions?
There is a lot of energy in Coimbra. I did not expect this. It's like 10:30 a.m. The cafes are packed, and it's not just people eating pastries and drinking coffee. Like they are boozing it up, and it's not like the students. So this is like a student town, but it's like older people in the cafes just like drinking hard, getting after it. I like the energy. There's like live music everywhere. The architecture is very beautiful. Great first impressions. We just passed under Arco de Almedina, and we are officially in Coimbra's beautiful old city. So Coimbra used to be occupied by the Moors who came from North Africa. There are like Medina vibes here. There's very like narrow streets kind of like winding up to the top of the hill. This is also where like the students live. So there's like a ton of like graffiti and like student housing. So it's like an interesting mix of like old like historical stuff and like student housing, I guess. Very, very cool. But we're gonna wind our way up the hill to the most iconic site in all of Coimbra. I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but we're here in Coimbra the first week of October, and this is when the new school year starts. So we've seen like a ton of cool like traditions and rituals that relate to like the initiation of the new school year. So we saw like students dressed in black cloaks, like raising money by playing music and singing in the downtown area, and also like freshmen in like crazy costumes with empty cans like tied around their ankles, just walking around the downtown, making tons of noise. Like you really get like a sense of how much this is really like the heart and soul of Coimbra. It's been very, very cool to see. So we're going to end our day here in Coimbra with something that we think is pretty cool, and that is traditional fado music. We weren't intending on showing you fado until we circled around Portugal and ended up in Lisbon, where fado originated. But it turns out that Coimbra has its own very special style of this music. So if you don't know what fado is, that's okay. I'll tell you very quickly. It's like a type of music that originated when the sailors in like Lisbon, the men like took off for like months at a time to like trade or go to war or whatever. And like the women, they like sang songs about like longing and sadness, and it was very like deep music. But here in Coimbra, they have like a special twist to it where it's like more often sung by men, and it's more about like nostalgia, about like living in Coimbra and studying at the university. So even in like the local fado in Coimbra, the university still plays a big part of it. It should be pretty cool. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Coimbra music. Coimbra fado.
I think so.
Saudade da universidade.
We'll show you. Bye.
We just made it to the Parque Natural de Sudeste Alentejano e Costa Vicentina. Something like that. We'll put it all over here on the screen. And this place is incredible. It's exactly how you would imagine the Portuguese coast to look like. Like the morning fog is still over the water. This place is incredible. Welcome to the adorable town of Melides. Even though we're technically staying in Melides, we're kind of like 2 miles outside of center, but it is a very, very beautiful place. We actually read about it in Condé Nast, which is never where we go for travel tips, but it is kind of like up and coming, like I might have mentioned. But even though that's true, like we don't see anyone here. It is very, very quiet, but it is also very, very cute with like the whitewashed buildings with like blue and yellow and green accents. Very adorable little town. And even though it's smaller and quieter than we expected, we still love coming to places like this. But our favorite part about this town is the beach.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
This is Melides Beach, and as you can see behind me, it's very, very beautiful, but there's not much happening here, and that's exactly why we love it so much. This is right next to our B&B, and it is just such a beautiful and perfect beach to come on like afternoon walks and watch the sunset. It is stunning. We love places like this. I'm so happy that we ended up in a place like Melides, like in Portugal. Like the coast is so popular, and we were able to find a place that is really not that popular, at least not in October. However, tomorrow we're going somewhere that it is very popular. We're going to Sagres, and we're super excited because it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful places in all of Portugal.
You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Well, I'm sure you guys can see behind me. This is just, my mind is blown away right now. We are in the town of Sagres in a place called the São Vicente Lighthouse. I think I'm going to put the name here so you guys can check it out as well. And this is where you can see those massive cliffs Portugal is famous for. And the ocean is like beautiful and blue and it's calm, but you can still see the waves like crashing against the cliffs. And it is spectacular. Like my mind is blown away right now. We're also gonna go to the fortress that's down like the street, I guess. It's also very, very beautiful. But I mean, check this place out. Enjoy the drone shots. G is filming over there.
most people come to Lagos to visit the historic downtown where they have like the colorful buildings, like tiled streets. It's very, very beautiful. Also the golden sand beaches and the very dramatic coastline with like huge cliffs. It's very nice. We heard it gets packed here though in the summertime. We're now here in October and it seems like a very nice time to visit. It's also a cool beach town. We're gonna go explore the beaches. Our first stop is Praia de something.
One thing that we really like about Lagos is that you walk 20 to 40 minutes and you have all these beautiful beaches to choose from. Right now we're in one called Praia de Pinhão. I'll put the name here just in case. You guys, you have to walk here. It's easier to walk. I know it's a little bit of a longer walk, but the parking situation is kind of sketchy. And Gordon, I don't know if you can see him behind me. He's flying the drone so we can show you how this place looks like. It's incredible. The color of the water is beautiful. The cliffs, I mean, Portugal, what are you doing? This is so, so pretty. Just made it and this place is so stunning. It's beautiful. The views from the top are incredible and it is so peaceful. There's basically no one here, so it is really nice, but we read that the best views are from the bottom, so we're going down 182 steps to check it out. So there are basically 4 ways that you can get here. You can come by car, which is what we did. The parking lot, it is very small, but it's fine because it's October and it's like sunrise, so there's no one there. You can also do a kayak or a boat tour, which is like we can see them now, and it looks like it must be stunning. And then you can also walk. I think it's like an hour walk from town. Kind of sketchy at times, but most of it is like a nice like walk away, so I don't think it's like a hard walk. And during the summer there's a little tram that you can take, I think 350 euros or something, and it's a hop on and off, and then you can just like come here by tram.
You guys, this place is amazing. It really gives you like a whole different appreciation of how powerful the ocean is, just like thousands of years of erosion just like beating through the cliffs and creating the holes. I feel kind of bad that I was sick. We had like a kayak tour planned and I had to cancel because I'm not feeling so good, but it's still beautiful to come down here.
It is so beautiful. So if you can like afford like a kayak or a boat, like it's fine. Just have to come here, come down, look at the view. Like it is really, really stunning.
Either way, you have to make it to Ponta de Pedágio.
This beautiful town in Portugal's Algarve region stole our hearts since the moment we stepped foot in it. And we think it's going to steal your heart too. If you haven't considered adding Tavira to your Portugal itinerary, you might change your mind after watching this video. So most people visiting the Algarve region, they end up staying in Albufeira, Lagos, or even Faro, but we really wanted to find somewhere unique and less popular, so after many, many hours of research, we stumbled upon Tavira, and it has been everything we wanted and more.
So Tavira is one of those places where you just don't get tired of walking around. Every corner takes you to like a different cobblestone or tiled street where you're just like walking past whitewashed buildings with beautiful tiles. It's very, very beautiful. If I had one word to describe Tavira, it would be quaint or adorable. It's very nice here.
We haven't been to Albufeira, but we visited Faro and Lagos, and even though they're so beautiful and amazing places to go on vacation, there was something about Tavira that we can't really like pinpoint what it was, but it's like when you arrive to a place and you like immediately connect with it, that's exactly what happened with us on Tavira. This place is awesome. I love like the river and all the restaurants lining the water, all these beautiful bridges, and everyone's out and about like enjoying their day and having a drink, and we're totally gonna do that later. This is so pretty. The place is like a postcard. It is so, so beautiful here. I know we keep saying that, but it really is. It's adorable. Adorably quaint.
Just south of the town of Tavira is Tavira Island, and that's actually where we're going right now, and we're passing a flock of flamingos. How cool is that? There are like two ways to get there. You can take like the main road, and there's like a tram that'll take you as well, or you can go on the ferry. It's like 220 euros back and forth. What a deal. We get to ride the boat, look at flamingos. I think we'll be there in a few minutes.
Is there a place with sun all year round and pina coladas with pretty faces and sand on the ground?
After being in Portugal for 3 weeks, we can say that getting around this country has been a breeze, but today we are in for our longest travel day so far as we head from Tavira to Nazaré, but not before stopping in Faro, Albufeira, and even Lisbon. All of this to go to the big wave capital of the world. Hey guys, welcome to Nazaré, the big wave capital of the world. This is one of our last stops in our tour around Portugal, and we couldn't miss the opportunity to experience some epic waves and check out one of the coolest beach towns in all of Portugal. So there are two famous beaches in Nazaré. There's Nazaré Beach, which is where we are right now. And there's also Praia do Norte, which is on the other side of those cliffs. And Praia do Norte, or North Beach, is the most famous one in Nazaré, because that's where all the big wave surfers go to test their skills on some of the biggest waves in the world. We checked the forecasts. The waves should be pretty big today. We're hoping for the best. We have our fingers and toes crossed.
We made it, and the waves are big, and they're messy. And there's like 6 or 7 surfers out there like trying to catch the waves, and I'll try my best to get like footage with like the big camera. But this is just mind-blowing to see that there's people in the water. So like they have to go in with a jet ski. Like they can't even like paddle the waves on their own. So each surfer has a jet ski, and they just like crash against the waves, and then he starts surfing, and sometimes they fall and you like see him. It's just, I was in tears yesterday the first time we saw this, because it is so mind-blowing to see what these guys are doing. Like, I don't understand how it's humanly possible to do this. The biggest wave register here, it was like 86 feet or something like that. This is one of the coolest things that you can witness in your life. And we're not even surfers, and we're just mesmerized by this. Like, we could spend the whole day here. You have to come here when it's like the wave season. I think October to April. Right now it's mid-October and the waves are like pretty decent, but like, this is crazy. These guys are crazy. As we mentioned earlier in the video, that neighborhood where Praia do Norte is called Sitio, and now we're back in Nazaré, which is where we're staying. And this town is so cute. It's like they have all these beautiful alleyways, and all the houses have beautiful tile decorations above the door. The ladies are dressed in like traditional clothing that actually reminds us a lot of northern Romania, and it's really cool to see. There's also a lot of cool restaurants and shops, and a beautiful promenade right next to the beach, which is perfect to watch the sunset.
We are now in Praça do Comércio in the famous Baija district. This place is beautiful. It's like right on the Tagus River, but because of that, when the earthquake hit in 1755 and the incoming tsunami came, this was one of the areas that was like mostly wiped out. Like all like the buildings were destroyed. They obviously rebuilt it in a very beautiful way. It's very like grand, and there's like grand avenues like running from here. It's like one of the central areas in all of Lisbon. It also gets like pretty hectic. So the other day we saw like 3 cruise ships like right on the dock next to us. So there are a lot of people in this area. You'll definitely have to come here. It's like incredible just like walk around the little streets and see what's happening here in Lisbon. It's the perfect starting point to visit beautiful Lisbon.